Hey coin collectors, I wanted to do a video for someone that's beginning and starting out and stacking to give them a bit of explanation about all things silver, what's the best approach, and explaining all the different types of silver that you can buy and what to look out for and some of the risks, so you get a better understanding of how the silver market works and how the best way is what we call stacking point of view. So the first things to always look out for is the cost of silver. So you're always looking for what we call spot price. So the easiest way to understand this or find this is to go to any online silver or bullion dealer, and normally at the top right or left of their web page they'll have the current price of silver. So it's always in troy ounce. So you see a lot of these coins and bars that I have here in front of you, and a lot of things that you can find online are always in 1 troy ounce. So you can find that buying the gold or silver, you can buy them in the same size that it's documented within the market itself. So that will help you understand if you're spending too much or too little when it comes to gold or silver. So having a look at that will give you an indication. Now, just because it says it might be $30 per troy ounce doesn't mean you can buy naturally silver per troy ounce. So obviously when you get to the high end stuff, a lot of work and effort and manual labor has had to go into working these coins to get them looking as good as they do, and especially if they're quite limited as well. So what's going to happen is you're going to get a premium on top of that. So that's the extra cost that it costs to make this coin, and all the effort that's gone into it. So some coins will have what we call a higher premium than others, where you get generic silver which will hold not as high premium as well. So you can get some other what we call rounds, which I'll go through in a bit of the detail, which is just pure silver with not much effort put into it, so you get a lower cost as well. So that's how we look at silver. You normally look at what we call is the spot price, and then from there you evaluate what kind of coins you want to buy at what kind of premium plus spot will you buy. So a lot of the coins that you see here have always got some kind of premium on there, because you can't make gold or silver for nothing or produce it for nothing, so there is some cost in the process. So let me start with what is the cheapest silver that you can buy right now if you're wanting to just get silver for the cheapest price. So normally junk silver is what we call it in the industry, which is coins like these that don't have full amount of silver in it. They're normally ex-government minted coins. So like these are the shillings from Australia. I've got some of the guilders, old guilders from Holland as well. So these are old coins that are no longer in circulation, but they do hold a bit of silver in it. So you can see some of these really small ones here as well. So these do have silver in it. Normally it's around 80% of silver. So sometimes they have more, sometimes they have less. Famously in Australia, people love these round 50 cents. They only ever came out one year in 1966. This is the first year of our current currency, and people love collecting these silver coins. So they actually almost cost more in silver because they're only worth 50 cents face value. So and you can get some of these older ones as well from an Australian point of view. In America there's a lot more options for getting your silver, junk silver. Normally going to a coin shop or dealer, you'll be able to see them in the shop there, and you'll be able to get some junk silver. But in Australia we don't really have shops like that you can go and do that. You can get them on eBay or certain shops, but you're probably going to pay a little bit more of it because they're more from a collecting point of view in Australia than an actual silver content point of view. But if you are looking for a cheap bargain, that's definitely the one to go to. Next we have silver bars. So these are the ones you've probably seen in the movies. You see those big chunky bars of silver. You can get them a lot smaller as well. You can get them from all different mints with different designs in them as well. So this one's 100 grams of silver from the Royal Mint in the UK. So this has got the Britannia on it as well. another one is, this is one from the Perth Mint in England. So this is actually a currency coin. So it's actually got a face value of $1. So that's definitely another good thing. So you can get probably a 10-ounce bar is really good as well. There's all different types of bars that you can get for reasonable prices as well. So sometimes you can get some that are a bit more collectible than others, but predominantly these ones, I think there's the Perth Mint in Australia probably has the best cost price from that one. The Germanian Mint as well is also another great one for bars. They make really beautiful bars at a really reasonable price as well. So if you're looking for getting some nice pieces of silver to hold, definitely the Germanian Mint is another one. So next is a really cheap option, but it's probably the most popular option for a lot of people, is you've got your silver rounds, is what we call it. So they're not minted by any government, they're only minted by private mints, and they're a really good option, and you can get some really cool designs depending on what you're after as well. So you can get obviously all the different types of cryptocurrencies, all these type of different designs. So it's really quite unique and really depending on what you like. This is the buffalo, which is probably the most popular one to get with the Indian character. You'll see they're often got different designs on there as well. So depending on which ones you're looking for, you can see the one's got a bit of a milk spotting. So that's the stain in there as well. So that also lets you know that it is pure silver. So milk spotting is not always a bad thing. It can obviously take away from the look of it, but from a silver point of view, which this one is just, I'm stacking this for the silver, having milk spotting is not a bad thing. So when you get silver rounds like this and you see them on eBay or anywhere else, there's one thing you really need to focus on looking out for. It's making sure that you have the 1 ounce in there, fine silver, and 3.9 or 4.9 silver in there as well. So it needs to have the weight, which is the 1 ounce, and that it is silver, and what kind of quality. So this one here as well, you can see it's got the 1 troy ounce, .39 pure AG, which is another abbreviation for silver as well. So you can see on this one here over the top, 1 troy ounce, .39 fine silver. So really, really important that you look for that as well when you're getting your rounds. Like I said, you can get some really nice designs. Normally you get them from only a little bit over premium, so very similar kind of prices above premium when it comes to the bars and the rounds as well. And next we have probably what is the most safest, especially if you're starting out stacking point of view, is what we call government minted silver. So this is where a country's government will make a piece of silver, and it will actually have a face value. So it actually will have a currency on the actual coin itself, but you'd never use it in an actual store. So the most famous around the world is the American Eagle. So this is, as you can see, it's $1. So currently it's about $60 in Australian value from an actual cost point of view. It has a very, very high premium this year because it is quite limited from the mint to be able to get these. But they're really, really good coins to stack. So I wouldn't recommend right now getting the American Eagles, but there's a lot of other good ones to collect. So I think the Australian Kangaroo is a really, really good one to stack. So if you can get the Kangaroo, it's definitely one of the better ones. You got the Philharmonics from Austria as well, is another great one. So this one, I think, is a €1.5 coin from Austria. Probably the safest and the best right now to get is the Canadian Maple. So there's a few reasons for these ones. So these ones have like little securities. I don't know if you can see the little leaf down there. Within the middle of that leaf, there's a little laser etched 23, given that this is 2023 coin. It's got 4.9 silver, so 3.9 silver and 4.9 silver don't really matter that much. So it just means it's been refined more. So all it means is they've taken some of this copper out of it. So it actually means if you got a 3.9 versus 4.9, when you get the 3.9, you've actually get a little bit extra copper in there. So it doesn't matter so much from a stacking point of view. It doesn't hold any more value. But you can see all the radial lines that this coin has in there as well. They also have a thing called mint shields on these as well. So you can see how we've got this kind of milk spotting kind of stain in the coin itself. The Canadian Mint have some kind of technology that will prevent the coin from getting those kind of tarnishes on the coin as well, which is really, really unique to collect. Another really popular one to get is a Krugerrand. So this is from South Africa as well. This is the special 50th anniversary one. These are really popular when it comes to the $50, or sorry, the gold coins as well. So often the gold stacking, the Krugerrands, is probably the most popular and most well known. Another great one is the Britannias from the UK as well. So this one has got the king on there, so from this year as well. So definitely from a stacking point of view, I'd highly recommend the Britannia. In the past, they were kind of known for their milk spotting, for their staining. Personally, I've never had any issues, so I've always had a pretty good run with the Britannias as well. So you can see this one's with the king without the crown, and I'm pretty sure I've got one somewhere with the queen on there. So yeah, these are all the 2023 versions, as you can see, with different odd verses on there as well. So yeah, really like these, and they've got some really great securities in there as well. So key feature there is you've got the little trident there, and if you move it in certain directions, it'll turn into a lock. I don't know if you can see there, it's a bit hard to get. So yeah, you can see the lock there, and it's a trident when you go like that way. So some good unique security, and obviously with the little ripple ways in there as well. It's really hard for someone to fake. With the American Eagle, all they've done is put like a notch that's missing around the edge. So one of the ridges around the edge is missing. This is one of the old ones, but that's about all the security they put into that coin as well. So you can get other ones like this one here from the Somalian Mint as well, Somalian Republic as well. That's another good one that people like to hold as well. And lastly, we have what we call collecting coins. So these are the ones that when you look at your spot price of silver, you're going to see a massive price difference. So these are normally your proof coins. So like this one here, this is a proof coin from the coronation of King Charles as well. So you can see the absolute finish on this is absolutely spot on, and all the detail in his face. So naturally, with all the effort, and these are quite limited, you are going to pay a very high premium to get those kind of coins as well. So some of these ones, these are the silver ones with King Charles on there as well. Another good one to look into is the Lunar series. So the Perth Mint out of Australia makes the absolute best Lunar series point of view. You can get all sorts of different series of coins as well, really depending on what kind of coin you are after. I like the coat of arms ones as well. They're often pretty good. Again, the Australian Mint does a really neat coat of arms ones as well. So these are really a bit of fun. So they're doing one for every year as well. Just bear in mind though, sometimes you can get some of these and you pay the premium when you first buy them. Then over time that premium's lost, and now this is pretty much worth just the weight in silver. So I've pretty much lost money on this one. So be careful on what you're investing when it comes to your high premium collectible coins as well. Just make sure it is something that you're interested in, and you think it's going to be a good collection for the long series. It's always trying best to get the first coin of the series. That's more helpful, because normally they're the ones that will have the long-term cost down the road as well. So how much silver should you be looking at? I always think around 40 ounces of silver is a good target to focus on. So having 40 of these all up coins is a really good unique way to do it. You can get some bars and all sorts of different things. So it's really up to you and what your preference is, what you feel comfortable and safe. But I always think a good way to start is to try and build your stack up to about 40. And always the best way with silver is to dollar cost average, is what we call. So that's buying a bit of silver all the time. So maybe an ounce a week or a couple of ounces every month. and over time building it. So when the price of silver goes up and down, at least you're not going to lose out too much, because it's very hard, like any market, to be able to get it right at the right time. So it's a bit like your super that we have in Australia, or I think it's the 4-day one. Correct me if I'm wrong, in the US, which is like your super, your savings as well. And that's always something that constantly every month money goes into. So you do pretty much the same for your silver. So silver is a hedge against inflation. So it pretty much does the opposite to what the dollar does. So if the dollar is really strong, your silver is going to be really weak. If the dollar is collapsing or going really bad, that's the time that the silver, pardon the pun, shines. It's the perfect investment. So with the way the current climate within the world, with the financials and how things are going, silver is definitely a safer way to store your investment from that point of view. I personally like to have a mix of investments, your bit of cryptos, your shares, your cash, silver and gold as well. So gold is the same. It's definitely something that's really good to stack as well. But for an entry point of view, definitely silver is a perfect way to look at. Some of the things to avoid when getting into silver is I'd stay away from the junk silver initially, unless you really know what you're looking for, because all the different types of silvers have different amounts in there. So to find out exactly how much silver this one has versus the other ones, what percentage of silver each one has, some has 80%, some has 50%, so it can create a lot of work. And then some years don't have silver, some years do have silver, so being able to find which ones do and don't. Another one to look out for is these China pandas as well. Definitely something personally I wouldn't stack heavily. If you like China coins, that's okay, but I wouldn't get them in large quantities, because you'll find they're not as liquid. They're harder to sell at the end of the day, so you won't have as many people looking to buy them. Whether government minted coins or some of those high-end proof coins, you're going to have more options to be able to on-sell it in the future. So, and lastly, make sure you have fun. Gold and silver, I find, for me, is all about the fun of looking at all the different coins, how the different mints and the designs they've come up with as well. So make sure you have fun in collecting. Always be very cautious about who you tell and what you tell about your collection as well. So once people know that you hold a large collection, it can create a lot of risk for you and your family as well. So be really, really careful about what you say. Also, be careful about where you put your silver and gold as too. Don't just put it in the wardrobe in a safe. That's the most obvious place for someone to look out for as well. So be really careful and be really smart about how you talk about it and how you manage it, because that's definitely something that can put you at risk. So remember, I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy that loves gold and silver and loves talking about it. And I'm just talking about it from my learnings from when I started out in gold and silver, and some of the things I wish someone had taught me as well. So hopefully this video was helpful. Please subscribe for more videos on gold and silver and all things coins and collecting. Thanks for watching and joining the coin collecting community. Dan.